This is my review of Jojo's Bizarre Adventure. Okay, so my question gets answered here about how are you supposed to fight a stand that you can't remember and also can't summon a stand. And believe it or not, they actually found a way. So what happened was that Kakyoin begins to doubt himself, not entirely sure if he has a way of proving if Mannish Boy is a stand user or not. By the way, his name is revealed in this episode to be Mannish Boy, which is another musical reference because JoJo's likes its musical references. But yeah, it's Kakyoin is trying to figure out how to prove Mannish Boy is a stand user, and meanwhile, Joseph and Polnareff are cooking up some special baby food for Mannish Boy, and while Mannish Boy is waiting for that, he's attacked by a scorpion and effortlessly kills it with a bobby pin. At which point, Kakyoin tries to use that as proof to point out that Mannish Boy isn't a defenseless baby, pointing out that he is indeed smart enough to figure out what a scorpion is and how to defend himself against one. But it doesn't work because Mannish Boy manages to hide the scorpion before Kakyoin or anybody else can find it, later revealed to be hiding in his mouth. So unfortunately he isn't able to actually eat any of the special baby food. And Kakyoin, not discouraged, attempts again to try and prove that Mannish Boy is a stand user by showing him the wounds that he carved into his arm. But everybody just thinks he's crazy, and at which point Kakyoin finally decides he's had enough and summons a stand to try and brute force it, which doesn't work either, since finally they realize that Kakyoin has had enough and have up to this point already been questioning his mental state, but have finally realized he's gone off the deep end if he's going to use his stand to attack a baby. At which point Polnareff knocks him out, and he is knocked out with his stand active. Remember that becomes important. At which point Mannish Boy gloats to himself, realizing that now that Kakyoin is out cold, there's nobody who would even begin to doubt his existence as a stand user, and now he can effortlessly kill them without any of them noticing. And case in point, they're dragged into the dream world, and Polnareff remembers the place and tries to warn everybody about what's going on, but too late realize that Death 13 is already in their vicinity and is able to attack them and effortlessly ensnares them with their own clothing. And also points out that they can't actually summon stands inside the dream. But Jojo tries anyway, trying to summon Star Platinum, and it sort of works. Not really, but it sort of works. He manages to summon Star Platinum, but it's not actually Star Platinum, and is in fact a facsimile controlled by Death 13. At which point Death 13 executes the facsimile, pointing out that it isn't indeed a real thing. And also points out that the main reason people can't summon their stands in the dream is because they're spiritual energy, and dreams are the spirit going to sleep and being off guard. So while they're off guard, they can't summon their stands. And as Death 13 gloats over the Joestar group, he's suddenly attacked by Hierophant Green. Remember how I said that Hierophant Green was pulled out? Yeah, this is why it's important. So initially Death 13 dismisses it as just a facsimile, but then realizes that it's the real thing and is suddenly being strangled by Hierophant Green. And despite Mannish Boy's best efforts, he's unable to get Death 13 to shake off Hierophant Green, and is slowly choking to death, but notes that Kakyoin is holding back on him because he's a baby, and decides to try a last-ditch effort to finish him off, which is to create a giant arm made out of clouds using his dream powers, and then attack them with a scythe, cutting, which Death 13 doesn't have to worry about since it's revealed in this moment that he's only the head and upper torso. He's only the head and shoulders and arms. That's all Death 13 is. Everything else is just its cloak. So, at which point he immediately cuts his stand and Hierophant Green's in half, or at least he thinks, until it's revealed that Hierophant Green was actually faking being cut in half, and that Kakyoin actually was transferring him into his brain so that he could hold Death 13 hostage and make Mannish Boy undo everything. And then the next morning they wake up, with them all having forgotten what actually happened, but giving Kakyoin a much-needed apology in the meantime, because while they could still remember it at least. But afterwards they realize that Kakyoin is surprisingly calm despite his manic behavior last night, and even that his wounds are gone because he had Death 13 heal them, and then seemingly gotten along better with the baby. At which point Kakyoin reveals that he remembers everything because he summoned his stand and was the only one to do so, and because of that he's the only one who knows what Mannish Boy is, and threatens that he never come back and leave them alone, or he'll punish him. And then, case in point, makes him eat shit. Literally, he takes a scoop of Mannish Boy's excrement, mixes it into his food, and then Polnareff and Joseph, unaware of what's actually going on, accidentally force feed it to him. In case in point, Kakyoin makes him eat shit. It's brilliant. That's just some brilliant writing there. At which point they, with Mannish Boy taken care of and back in the arms of his mother, who we never actually see, so mother, quote unquote, they actually get on the boat and are headed on their way to Egypt, but not before Joseph makes a detour, pointing out that there's a man very important to their journey that they need to go meet on a remote island. That's how the episode ends. They're going to meet somebody on a remote island before heading off to Egypt, and I have no idea who it could be. Clearly somebody important. I don't know. Maybe Avdol somehow survived and is waiting for them on the island. Who knows? We don't really know the full extent of Avdol's abilities. We haven't seen him for a while, but we don't even know for a fact if he actually died. I mean his stand is a phoenix. Is a phoenix, so it makes sense if he would somehow be revived. I doubt it, but it's possible. The thing about Death 13 was that it was actually defeated basically because of pure luck. Death 13 was only defeated because Kakyoin managed to summon his stand before being passed out, and when he went into the dream world, he was able to use his stand in the dream world. That's the only way he was able to actually fight back. If Death 13 hadn't tried to get Kakyoin knocked out by pretending to be a baby, then Mannish Boy probably would have won. But he didn't, because Kakyoin began to suspect that Mannish Boy was a stand user and that Death 13 was his stand, and then because of his frequent attempts to try and prove it, he was eventually knocked out with his stand active. So he was able to actually fight back against Death 13 in the dream world, which is interesting. So, and Kakyoin even compliments Mannish Boy on his stand and how powerful it is, pointing out that he basically, if people didn't actually suspect that Mannish Boy was a stand user, which most people probably won't, they probably would have been fine. They probably would have died and nobody would have been the wiser, which is exactly what happened with a dog an episode ago. Death 13 is a really powerful and really cool stand. It's a shame we're never going to see it again, but it is an interesting concept for a stand. Just a stand that is completely all powerful in its dream world, and is basically unbeatable, as provided somebody doesn't get knocked out. So it's an interesting idea for a stand. I'm curious if they'll bring this concept like this back. Probably not, but that would be interesting if there was like a stand like this, because we've seen a couple of stands that have been very similar to one another, but we haven't actually seen any stands that have been like repeats of original stands. I don't know, it seems interesting to me, and if they do bring it back, I wouldn't be too surprised. But it is an interesting stand nonetheless, and I hope they make future stands like it. But that's my idea of Death 13 Part 2. That's my review of it. What did you guys think? Let's get a discussion going in the comment section down below, or over on my Discord server, link in the description. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, be sure to follow me on Facebook and on Twitter in the description below. And also, if you want to help support the show, then be sure to check out my Patreon. It's only a couple bucks a month, and it gives you guys access to a bunch of perks that I give you in response to giving me money to help fund my projects. So be sure to check that out in the description below as well. It's only a couple bucks a month. help me out, and I help you out, so be sure to check those out. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace!